Welcome to the channel. The channel is for education and culture based on historical and scientific evidence. So today I like to share with you the bottom line, the reference to judge the authenticity of the real Wing Chun Xiu Lim Tao training. Of course, this belongs to 1850 Xiu Lim Tao. And if you watch my video in about a week ago, I talked about the mindfulness, those kind of things. Those are needed if you want to get result from the Wing Chun Xiu Lim Tao training, the real one. Okay? Now, this also differentiates itself clearly from Shaolin Eternal Spring or Shaolin Weng Chun. See, Pray the Spring, Pray the Spring, and Shaolin Weng Chun are two completely different arts. Even though 50 years ago, Grandmaster Yip Man said it, nobody paid attention. You look at many Shaolin Weng Chun people still say, oh, Yip Man make it up. A few days ago, there's a meeting of Shaolin Weng Chun a video of a Shaolin Weng Chun meeting in China. Still say that, oh, Praise the Spring is from Eternal Spring, and the guy who caused that Eternal Spring turned into the Praise Spring is Liang Zhan. Well, all of this is their opinion, baseless, have no historical evidence to prove anything, but my grandfather said this, my grandfather said this, my grandmaster said this. Do they care what Grandmaster Iman say? Of course not. Does they respect that? Of course not. Does they respect the history that the Praise Spring, the Wing Chun, is actually a female art? Is actually a anti-Qing, like today's in America, the Chinese Freemasons art? Of course they don't. So ignore everything, just say whatever they like. Well, that's not good, right? We can boast ourselves, but we don't want to distort other people's thing. That's why I want to show you this today. And you need to put this in your training here on. Okay? So it is clearly that it is not Shaolin Weng Chun, it is not Tai Chi, it's not somebody's claim that, oh, this is a snake engine, this is whatever. If you don't know what I'm talking about today, you never develop the real, authentic Wing Chun Xiu Lim Tao, because you don't know what's going on. So right now, I'm putting this video up to let all our Wing Chuners, hey man, stand up, develop your real Kung Fu. Why is everybody buying in all this gossip and so forth? Okay? Now, let's get into the topic. To practice sets, practice like Xiu Lim Tao today, 99.9999999% of people do it wrong. So you say, well, Henrik, are you sure? Sure. Why? Because this is wrong. So why it is wrong? Let me share with you. practice the Wing Chun Lim Tao. Okay, the 1850s Wing Chun Lim Tao. It is about using a sample of motion, to develop the mindfulness of the six core elements and further refine the handling of the six core elements. That's it. You got it? The practice of the real deal, authentic Xiu Lim Tao. Of course, this is the 1850 Xiu Lim Tao. I don't create that. Those ancient grandmasters developed that. It is using a sample of motion to develop the mindfulness of the six core elements and further develop or refine the handling of the six core elements. That's what it is. Today, in the entire world, even those Shaolin Weng Chun, there's a set called Sam Bai Fat who have this very similar techniques. Those are not using a sample motion to develop the mindfulness of the six core element and further refine the six core element handling. It is not. So what they are doing, and what all you guys Wing Chuners today doing, you guys are actually doing pattern reproduction. Reproduce patterns. Or if you don't like pattern, the term, techniques. It is a techniques reproduction. Okay? So in terms of today's technique reproductions, everybody say, okay, like for example, we take this part in the Xiu Lim Tao. Today everybody know, right? So this part in the Xiu Lim Tao. Right? You see that everybody know this part. Even the Shaolin Weng Chun people have their set called Sam Bai Fat is doing this. Well, what they're doing, what everybody doing, is actually mimicking this technique. Okay? You stand in the stand, somebody will stand in this stand, then somebody will stand in this stand, somebody will do this, and then come back, somebody will do this, somebody will do this. Okay? This is called reproductions of pattern. So, of course, they are following their teacher, their grandmaster, and some will, after they reproduce this, after a while, they will have their interpretations on how is this supposed to be. Supposed to be like this, supposed to be like this, supposed to be like this, the stand supposed to be like this, and then supposed to be like this, and then it start to come all this thing as we heard, like in the YouTube. Wing Chun is Weng Chun. Praise Spring is Eternal Spring, and Eternal Spring doing this. All of this is wrong. Sorry. This is not Wing Chun. Per writing in Chinese history. So if you do this, moving your arm in a certain way, you are actually reproduce that pattern. In the real training of the 1850s Wing Chun, the real design of Wing Chun, It is using this motion to develop the mindful on the six core element, your body, your mind, your breathing, your chi flow, energy flow, yes, there is there, your force flow, and your momentum. So this is just a motion. This is not a technique, it is a motion. It can be many techniques within this motion, depend on how you change it. The key is you need to develop the mindfulness of the six core element, and then you keep refining. It's not just to play a set, mimic. Oh, this way, that way, my Sifu said this, I think so, my interpretation. No, never is that. So it never fixed. Now, for this, using the motion for developing the mindfulness of the six core element in the 13th state have different levels. At first, of course, you're not going to be able to mindful on your breathing. So the first level is mindful on your body. Mindful on body meaning every small details move of your body, the entire from the leg to the fingertip to your head, everything. You're mindful of that. The entire thing move. Okay? So that's the mindful of the body. After that mindful of the body, you get into the mindful of the breathing. When you do the set, yes, you need to be mindful of your breathing. It is written in the 1850s Xu Lim Tao writing. That is how you develop it. You develop the internal Kung Fu. Again, that's why you don't do this type of stuff. You don't do this, you do this. Because you mindful of your body, your breathing, your energy flow, your force flow, your momentum. You know if you don't do the motion this way, you got a problem. So it is not just you reproduce somebody's techniques or pattern. You got it? And of course, the first thing in the previous few videos I already said. What is mindfulness? Mindfulness in the Old Indian language is Sati. The Chinese call it Shen or spirit is translate. It is not. It is Sati. So mindful is Sati. So when you practice Xu Lim Tao, 1850, when you're mindful of the six core element, it is like a kindergarten of the Buddha's teaching, the practice of Satipatthana. Okay? So if you look at those really who practice Satipatthana, everything they are mindful at. It's not, oh yeah, this is the pattern. And the mind somewhere else. The mind is like, oh, my Sifu say this, he this say this, I think this one, philosophy, that one. No, it is the entire mindful of that, even the small part of things. You can go to the real Zen master, like my late teacher, Venerable Xuanhua, Or you can go to Thailand or the country beside Thailand. I forgot, sorry. You look at all those monks who have the real cultivations of Satipatthana. It's mindful the entire thing. Every small thing, their emotions, their breathing, everything they are mindful. Xu Lim Tao is based on that. That is what the Shaolin, the real Shaolin is. And for example, in the 1850 Xu Lim Tao, it said that uh, union in the Dantian. Well, union in the Dantian is just what? Anapanasati, the Buddha's teaching. The difference is that the Chinese, the Shaolin, do not use if you today you go to the Vipassana retreat and so forth, all those Anapanasati, when they train it to aware of their breathing, say over here. The Chinese don't do that. The Chinese say you aware of your lower abdomen's expand and contractions. That is the same Anapanasati. And the Chinese say, oh yeah, this is called Xing Qi to Dantian. Okay? So you want to Xing Qi, all of those, it is practically a mini Satipatthana practice. Check in the website. What is a Satipatthana? What is Sati? What is Anapanasati? Okay. So when the 1850s Wing Chun say it is based on Buddha's teaching, one side is based on Buddha's teaching, another side is based on Qi Ji Guang. It's no nonsense. It is like today. Hey, this is an Apple Watch. It is Apple smartphone. It is based on the Apple iOS. It cannot be, oh yeah, this is the Apple, this is the Android phone, this, but you don't know what is the inside there. So how can I know that all these people make up all these sets? Well, you do this when you lost your sati there. I know you don't have anything. It's empty. You just mimic posture. You just mimic pattern. And then if you like like in Shaolin Weng Chun when they do the Sambai Fat, well, you check into the bottom line. Does it have sati or not? If it doesn't have the sati, sorry, that type of move look like Wing Chun, but it is not. Because why? You don't have the soul, the sati. And if you don't have sati, you will never develop anything. Remember, as what I said, first, you're mindful. Sati means mindful. Sati means shen, spirit. Condense your shen. If you don't have this, you don't develop it like using the Anapanasati training. You don't have that mindfulness. How the world are you going to develop anything? So people using this mindfulness to develop their body, develop their breathing, develop their chi or energy inside, or the Indian call it prana, develop their force flow, or in physics today we call it action-reaction force, develop the momentum. Everything is based on that sati. Okay? So as a conclusion, there are only two types of training. One is pattern-based. You mimic pattern, you reproduce pattern, you have all the theory and reasoning, from your grandmaster, who say, he say, whatever say, your opinion, whatever. That's what usually today's world go. That's how they practice it. And then you argue like the Shaolin Weng Chun say, no, 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 this is from Shaolin Weng Chun. But who knows? At the end is my Sifu said, my Sifu is older than your Sifu. That's why when Grandmaster Yip Man says something, you don't care. Okay? Another type is the Sati base, mindfulness base. Nobody have time to go mimic a motion and keeping have 10 billion type of interpretations. The key is so that you be able to mindful of your entire body, mindful of your breathing, your energy, or your prana, mindful of your action reaction force, mindful of your momentum. Then you can use it alive. Who's going to go in fighting using this type of pattern? When you get this close, what is important is your handling of six core element, isn't it? When you face a MMA friend getting in the grappling range, what do you need? You need to be able to handle your six core element, not those patterns. Okay? So that's why if you have developed this mindfulness-based 修炼套, you look at people, when they mimic you, you know. Because you know that there's no content inside there, there's no soul inside there. You're flipping your hand, you lock up your joints, you play like a movie. Those who have developed the mindful of the six core element and refined the six core element to develop the Kung Fu of 修炼套 is going to look at you, look at all those six core element details, not the outer form. Because a real play is playing up the six core element and not just philosophy, using the term mindful but do not know what it is, and then say, well, this is Zen. Somebody even say, it's about detachment. I mean, huh? What are you talking about? You want to talk about Zen if you don't have Sati developed? Forget about it. See, nobody tell you that, right? If you go for practice for Zen, if you do not have the Sati, you're just talking philosophy. So that's why the old Zen master would say, oh, this is just talking Zen, have no content inside there. So now you know, okay? One is mindful base. That motion is a sample motion. You use that sample motions to develop your mindfulness of your six core element and further you refine it. So this is like when you get there, it becomes like what Bruce Lee said, using no limitations as limitations, using no way as way. I mean, who cares? What I want is to handle my six core element at every instance. Who cares? I have to be this, to be this, to be this. Well, you don't even know your hip joint. Like last time I said, your Yuma, and also you don't know your spine here, behind your heart and your lung and your shoulder blade. That's very important because this part of your spine and your shoulder blade is actually influencing your lung and your heart. So that's why in the 修炼套 you do like this. There is entire thing you have to be aware of. And that's why Wing Chun, the praise spring, never do something like that. Why? The minute you do that, the left and the right, it do not echo each other anymore. You break into two. Okay? That's why Shaolin Weng Chun is never Wing Chun. Wing Chun is never Shaolin Weng Chun. Technically, it's like that. Wing Chun, you need to train the develop your shoulder blade, your shoulder, your spine here. This is called the penetration shoulder power. From this, penetrate to this. So when you go momentum, you shoot out. Actually, it's this one driving this out. When you pull back for recycling momentum, actually it's this one. Pull back, you shoot this out. So this is named as what? This is named as speed. When this spit out, this actually suck in. Suck in and spit. Suck in and spit. They are at the same time. It's a coin of two faces, the two faces of a coin. If you don't have the practice of the mindful of all these things, how the world you know all this small handling, the details handling? That's why 修炼头 meaning the essence of details training. You have the handling of this part, you have the handling of this part. The entire body is like a robot with multiple degree of freedoms. So it is called 修炼头, the training of the essence of details. Okay? So you guys really want to practice Wing Chun, stop those pattern reproducing. Get back to the mindfulness. It doesn't matter what lineage you are. If you don't get back to here, you are not going to get anything out. Look at those people who practice 修炼套 for 60 years, 70 years. What did they do about their body? Okay? So this is a reality. I know reality is not sugar-coating words. And I know the Shaolin Weng Chun people, if they watch this movie, they might not like it. Well, sorry, because when you guys making claim like that in the public media, Wing Chun or Praise Spring is from Shaolin Weng Chun or Shaolin Eternal Spring. You already step on Wing Chun. Be it you step on Yongzhan or be it you step on the Grandmaster Yin Man, and you distorted Wing Chun. What right do you have to change the history of China? And in fact, Wing Chun ancestors fought for the new modern China. Go to Chinese Freemasons in San Francisco or in New Jersey, understand how is the Chinese Freemason support Sun Yat-sen to overthrow the Qing dynasty. Wing Chun is a part of that. Okay? So I'm not here trying to have a piss-off game, but truth have to be said. Thing has to be called off. Enough is enough. And for Wing Chuners, it's time to get back all this technology. Why do you want to settle for less? Oh, my lineage doing this. My Sifu saying this. If you never develop that, you never develop that. What good is that?